Welcome back, Endgame community. I'm Pierre. With me is Chris. We're going to talk about the guys we don't like in Week 13. This is our busts of the week. Chris, let's start off.
I know people are getting really excited about Tony Pollard. There was word that Zeke might be rested. Well, he was a full participant in practice this week, and it looks like Zeke is going to play. Now, I still do expect Tony Pollard to be involved, similar to what we saw on Thanksgiving Day, because Zeke is dealing with that knee injury. But in this matchup, I think he's going to let a lot of fantasy teams down. People are going to put him in thinking, he has that upside because he is splitting touches with Zeke right now. But it's New Orleans. They're one of the best, if not the best, run defense out there right now. And I know he catches some passes to save his day, but I just don't think he really has any kind of ceiling in this game. I feel like this is one of those, 6, 7, 8 point Tony Pollard games. So if you're banking on having him this week, with the Zeke news, I'm sorry to tell you, I think he's going to bust.
Definitely could be a trap spot for those who are going to trust him. Now, Jamar Chase has been great as a rookie, but a lot of that happened in the first half of the season. I don't know if it's a rookie wall, if it's just the way this offense has been running differently, but for 4 straight weeks, he hasn't even hit 50 yards. He has scored twice in those 4 games, but he is not doing what we saw early in the season, not those monster games, not those week-winning games. And so will he do it against the Chargers? Probably not. Chargers still top 5 fantasy defense against wide receivers. Look, this whole offense is running through Joe Mixon. It's becoming a run-focused offense. They're not needing those deep shots. Also, the defense is actually playing pretty well. So I'm going to say you can fade Chase. Not an absolute must-sit because he could always score or go off for a big play, but I'm not feeling it this week. All right, Chris, who else are you not feeling?
I'm not feeling Kendrick Bourne. I know he's been coming through for you lately. In fact, since week 3, he's a top 15 PPR wide receiver, which is crazy to think about. But I don't think he gets it done this week against Buffalo. I know they lost Tre'Davious White, and of course that is a big blow. But they still have a lot of other good corners. They still have a great pass rush. I think this is going to be a low-scoring, ugly type of game. I just don't see Kendrick Bourne catching a touchdown. Really, he's been living off of touchdowns and big plays. He's not a high-volume guy anyways. So I think this is one of those games, very low volume, doesn't rack up a lot of yards, doesn't find the end zone, and bust for people's fantasy teams who probably are going to roll him out again based on what he's been doing lately.
Yeah, I agree. He looked great last week. Doesn't mean he'll do it this week. It's a very different matchup. Now, in that same game, look, on Buffalo's side, you can make an argument that the most valuable fantasy player outside of Josh Allen for the Bills has been Dawson Knox, because even without those couple of games he missed, on a per game basis, he's been one of the better players at his position. A lot of that is because he keeps scoring touchdowns. New England is very good defensively, and they're really good against the tight ends, second best actually against tight ends. Here's the other thing with Knox: if he doesn't score a touchdown, which he won't do it every single game, you're not left with much. He's only gone over 50 yards receiving twice all year. There's a good chance he gets taken out. If he doesn't hit the end zone, then you're left with a dud. Buffalo's been doing a good job adjusting to defenses and throwing it underneath, taking what the defense gives them. They're not going to give him Knox. So I say steer clear of him, go with somebody else. All right, let's keep this going. Give me another bust.
I got a big name for you, and it's Najee Harris. Obviously, the volume is there for Najee, but you know what's not there? The run blocking. The Steelers over the last 3 games are the worst running offense in the entire NFL by a significant margin, and it's because of this offensive line. Now they're going up against Baltimore. We just saw what Baltimore did to those Cleveland running backs, including Nick Chubb. They held him in check. They have a very good run defense. Yes, Najee will catch passes, but I don't think that's enough to make him a non-bust this week. Similar to what happened in week 12, I think we see another game like that from Najee Harris. Sure, he can always fall into the end zone, but if he doesn't, I think it's going to be another bust week for Najee Harris.
Yeah, if the Ravens do what they did last week, they focused on shutting down the running game in Cleveland, forced them to pass, because why wouldn't they? They could very well do the same here. Opposite case here, over Saquon Barkley. The talent is there, the opportunity is not. We wish he was getting 19 carries a game. He's not, only got 13 this past week. And that was in a good spot against the Eagles. Now, I know the Dolphins aren't exactly a shutdown defense, but they've been shutting teams down for the past month now. They're looking like last year's version of this Dolphins defense. They actually have not allowed 100 yards or more to running back group for a team since week 5. First 5 weeks, they were giving up 100 yards to every team, and they haven't done it since. And Barkley is a guy, yeah, he could always rip off that big play. He hasn't done it yet. I feel like the Giants are still kind of taking it easy with him. They're not giving him the volume that he needs. I just don't think it's going to happen this week. I do like Barkley the rest of the season. I don't like his chances for a big game just yet in week 13. All right, give me one more guy that you're fading.
I'm picking on running backs apparently, but I'm fading Clyde Edwards-Helaire against Denver. I know Austin Eckler had a nice game against him, but that's Austin Eckler. He catches a ton of passes. Edwards-Helaire doesn't. He's really touchdown dependent as it is. Going up against this Broncos defense, I just don't see a lot for him in this game. I know he was okay in his first game back from injury, did score that touchdown, but again, without that touchdown, I think he just doesn't give you much in this matchup. So I'm fading Clyde Edwards-Helaire this week. I think he'll bust.
No problem fading Clyde Edwards-Helaire. All right, now I'm going to go with a quarterback who's coming off a nice week and has a much better matchup on paper, but I'm going to say it's not going to happen for Carson Wentz. He did throw 3 touchdowns, looked pretty good for the most part until the very end. Now against Houston, you think, why can't he do even better? They're not going to have to pass the ball, right? Tampa Bay is one of those defenses very good against the run, a little bit more liberal against the pass. Houston, it's going to be a different situation. I don't think they're going to have any trouble running the ball here. Jonathan Taylor will have his way with the Texans. There's probably not going to be any negative game script. Carson Wentz not going to have to throw the ball a whole lot. And the Texans, believe it or not, have been pretty good on defense the last couple of weeks. Their defense has a 2-to-7 touchdown interception ratio over the last 3 games. Don't think you need to put him in your lineup just because you look at the schedule and see Houston on it. I think he's going to have a letdown game in week 13. All right, so besides this, we also have our boom video. You want to check that out as well. And we have a lot of other ways that we want to help you win in fantasy. Look at the description below when you're done here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Of course, we appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. All right, guys, thanks for watching.